And
The family
squeezes
gave
up.
it to him.
A Texas teen fired before ever setting foot in her new
Yeah, I don't know
job.
why
Next,
they gave it
the
to
tweet
Texas.
that landed her in trouble, and the company's Twitter response. Next.
Oh, here's somebody. Oh my gosh, who is this?
30 to the show.
Stand by, Doug. We're 30 seconds away from the show. So you got about 40.
Ten seconds to my headlines.
Anyway.
Here we go. Cue the anchors.
He was set on fire and
We're in
died
the
years
show.
later. Now the neighbor who
We're
did
in
it
the
is
show.
going to prison.
And sounds up.
A woman in the Heights said her pets were her family.
6
now
seconds.
they're gone, more than 40 of them. I'll tell you why.
And cue the anchors.
And a wife destroys her husband's car.
Smiley
Her
open.
motive is something you might identify with.
Opens up.
Live.
Stand by camera 2.
11 News starts
And
now.
cue the anchors.
It took 17 years, but justice finally came today for little Robbie
A
Middleton.
jury sentenced Don Collins to 40 years in prison for killing his neighbor. Doug Miller has been
Animation's up.
following the trial
Stand
from
by
the
live.
beginning and joins us with the final chapter in this case. Doug?
Lives up. Anchor mics are
Today,
clear.
a jury
You're gonna do a
hearing
package
testimony
next.
in this courthouse down here in Galveston heard testimony indicating that the man convicted of setting a boy on fire earlier on almost 2 decades ago was a violent sexual offender from a very
Stand by
young
package.
age. No surprise then that he received the maximum sentence.
Packages up.
The smiling
This is
face
124,
of a
IQ's
woman
now
in Robbie
now
Middleton
famous
We're on our
picture.
package, so we're about a minute.
Add this
40.
back out to
17
live and go to
years
cam
ago,
3
the
Len.
day he walked down a wooded path in Splendora and encountered an older boy who lived next door.
My brother found him.
A boy named Don Collins with a reputation as a neighborhood bully.
His eyes, he just had the deadest looking expression on his face and his eyes. They just looked cold. Even as a little child, I
Minute
would look
away.
at him and he was expressionless.
The injuries and so forth. Yeah.
Now Collins is the convicted murderer of Robbie Middleton, severely burned over 99% of his body. He succumbed to a burn-related cancer at age 20. Today, jurors heard testimony painting a frightening picture of Collins as a serial child rapist. Middleton's sister described him stomping one of her kittens to death.
I had told my client to expect 40 years. The jury having convicted him of capital murder, I think the math was easy for them. If they
30
believe
seconds.
that you set somebody on fire, an 8-year-old boy, on his birthday, you're going to get the maximum sentence.
Prosecutors hailed
Yeah,
the
I would
sentence
think
as
so,
a
too.
victory, not just for a boy savagely attacked long ago, but also for a family that spent more than a decade seeking justice.
They wanted this day. That's all they asked for is to get this
10
day.
seconds. IQ
and
is
they
now
got it.
famous picture.
Stand
Stand
by.
by
So
live.
we're ecstatic.
5 away.
A day long in the making for the smiling boy in that now famous picture.
And cue live.
30 away,
But
Tim.
Robbie Middleton's family doesn't
Going to
exactly
boxes next with
consider
Cam
this
3
case
Len.
closed. Testimony indicated that someone else was on the path that day. Robbie Middleton said he heard the voice of an adult who has never been
Andrew, we're about a
identified.
minute and a half
They
from you.
still want that man identified and charged in this crime. Reporting live in
Anchor mics
Galveston,
are
Doug
open.
Miller, KHOU 11 News.
And cue Len.
We have
Thank
no
you,
information
Doug.
right
You're
now
clear.
about the
This is
young
my
man
next
charged
live.
with killing his parents and little brother. Tim Wetzel joins us live from the Harris County Jail with details. Tim?
And live is
First
full.
time you're hearing from the
Anchor
defense
mics are clear.
side. The suspect's attorney calls him
Gonna do
a
a package
scared young
next.
man, and he's asking people to reserve judgment until all the facts come out.
Package is up.
Walking into
This
the
is
courtroom,
49
Isaac
seconds.
Tirahan
Accused of
appeared to
capital
show
murder.
No emotion. As the judge read him his rights, his defense attorney put his arm around him. They met for the very first time this morning.
It's like,
Given the
don't touch me,
gravity
bro.
of what he is charged with, he was scared. And I know the law says he's an adult, but in my mind, he's a scared young kid.
30
Tirahan
seconds.
stood
Add this back
silently
out to
as
the live, then go
prosecutors
into
read
a
out
VO.
loud the 2 capital murder charges against him. One for beating his parents to death with a baseball bat, a lamp, and a hammer. The second for stabbing his 5-year-old brother. He was arrested in Mississippi last week and brought back to Houston last night.
There was zero evidence that I heard to connect him to the actual taking of anybody's life.
10 seconds.
I disagree.
Accused of capital
I think
murder.
the state
Stand by
disagrees.
live.
Obviously, the court
Stand by.
disagrees so far because probable cause was
Here we go.
found on each charge of capital murder.
And cue the live. Live's up.
And right now, Tara Honda is being held in jail.
Go to an
without
animation and a
bond.
VO
Prosecutors
next.
say they have not yet made the decision on whether to seek the death penalty.
Anchor mics are open.
Tim Wetzel, KHOU 11 News.
Cue the anchors.
All right, thank you, Tim.
All right,
Now to
Tim,
breaking
VO.
news, there's a huge animal rescue going on right now in the Heights. They
VO's
are
up.
removing more than 24 cats from a
Jeremy,
small
we're
Am I
about a
live?
minute and a half away
Andrew
from you.
Gorensky is live in the Heights to tell us more about this. Andrew.
Live's up. Anchor mics are clear.
Oh, cute.
Lisa Cheryl
Still my
Roth has been
package.
living here for the past 20 years, and you can see from the colorful art outside of her home that she clearly loved animals, though perhaps authorities say a little too much.
Package is up.
This
This is
afternoon,
53
Cheryl
seconds.
Roth
Accused could be
comfortably
charged.
inside her Heights home,
Add this
but
back
rather
out to
the back
live.
of a police
Came to
cruiser
live in OTS
after more
on
than
Len.
40 animals were seized from her home, mostly grown cats. To her, they were family, and this wasn't fair. It was always manageable.
Yes. It was joyful. It wasn't just manageable. I enjoy it. I love them.
30 seconds.
It never seemed like too many.
No.
Rose suspects EMTs reported her after a
Glasses
recent
are
visit,
humongous.
but police say their tips came from a number of sources. Though the animals did not appear to be
Len, you
sick or
saw in there that I
malnourished,
added
it
the
was
closing
Rose's
price
health
of
that
oil,
neighbors
right?
worried about
Okay.
too. She
Hey,
says
Jeremy,
it just
after
wasn't
you,
their
we have
business.
Len reading
Who
and
has
I'll
the
give
right
him the
to
closing
10
price
seconds.
of oil.
Accused could be charged. Stand by to live.
It's not for their good. People drink.
5
Now
away.
she is without her animals and could be charged,
And cue the live. Live's up.
Cute.
which comes
Go
with
to an
a
animation
Class
next
A
and out to cam
misdemeanor.
2
If
Len.
convicted,
Oil
she could
experts,
face up
let
to
me
a
go find out
$4,000
exactly how it
fine
is.
and spend up to a year in jail. Live in the Heights,
Anchor mics
Andrew
are open.
Gorensky, KHOU 11 News.
And cue the anchors.
And new at 4
Still my camera
o'clock,
2.
once again, Houston feeling the rippled effects from falling oil prices.
Cam 2's
One
up.
of the world's largest oil
Still my live.
providers, based in Houston, is laying off thousands of workers. Jeremy Diesel joins us from downtown with the story.
Live's
Oh,
up.
we knocked out. Cute.
Anchor mics are clear.
Ah, damn it.
Well, these layoffs include the
Sorry, my fault. I'll
thousands of
just
my
layoffs
VO.
previously announced by
North
Halliburton
Harris County.
in December, but it brings the total number to nearly 6,500 all around the world. The
VO's
company's
up.
not saying exactly where the job cuts
Go
will
to a
be,
graphic
only that
next.
they are across the board and affect, quote, all areas of Halliburton's operations, end quote. The total
After
is
live,
likely
we
to
back
be
to
as
cam
much
2
as
Len
8%
OTS.
of the
Lisa will be at
global
position
workforce.
6.
If the numbers are accurate, that means nearly 1,000 of those layoffs could be local from the nearly 9,000 Houston area Halliburton employees. If you add it all up, there have been more than 30,000 announced layoffs in just the big 4 oil services companies in only the last 2 months. All of those said to be due to market conditions. Now, the
Still my
chairman and
graphic.
CEO of Halliburton, Dave Lazar, said no one is immune in an email to employees about these job cuts.
Graphic set.
Officially, a Halliburton spokesman said in a statement, quote, "We value every employee we have, but unfortunately we're faced
Stand
with
by
the
live.
difficult reality that reductions are necessary to work through this challenging market environment."
Live's
now,
up.
Halliburton and Baker Hughes, which is also one
You
of
on a
those
cam 2
big
Len
4
OTS
oil services
next.
companies, are in the process of merging. It's already announced 7,000 global layoffs. Both of the companies say that none of these layoffs have anything to do.
Stand by camera 2.
Reporting live in North Harris
Anchor
County,
mics are
Jeremy
open.
Diesel, KHOU.
2's up.
By the way, the day the
Still
price
my cam
of oil
on
closed
Lisa.
at just under
Thanks,
$53
Jeremy. Clear.
a barrel, but some analysts worry prices could drop to as low as $20 a barrel.
One's up.
The U.S. Airways flight that landed on its nose at
Still my
Bush
sound.
Airport last night was towed off the runway today. Flight 1825 from Philadelphia was on approach when the pilot
Yeah, that was
radioed
on
air
me.
traffic
I didn't
control
change
with
the
this
location.
message.
Sounds up. 11 seconds. Accused to be up. Do you want to do the live or the backup for the rocket?
Is still retracted. Our two main
Live or backup?
appear to be down, and the nose
Stand by,
It'll
Lisa.
be the backup. No live.
Cue
no
Lisa.
live.
The plane with 56 passengers on board landed without its nose gear. People had to slide down that emergency chutes to get off the plane. Only one injury was
Smite
reported, and
video.
it was minor.
And next video's up.
In less than an hour, SpaceX will try once again to launch its
You have to cam 2 on a
Falcon 9
2-shot
rocket.
next.
Minutes
Then
later,
she go into
they'll try to
boxes.
land the rocket on a floating platform off the coast of Florida. Liftoff is scheduled for 5:05 Houston time. About an hour from
my
now,
camera
we'll
too.
bring it to you live on KHOU 11 News at 5.
Two's
Okay,
up.
in the meantime,
Some
let's
of
talk
boxes.
about some weather.
Yeah.
Gorgeous outside.
Wow, it's like
It's like we love
bottle
it.
rack.
So,
Boxes
I know,
up.
I know.
Perfect.
We want it
It's
to
perfect.
last.
Well, we are going to enjoy it through the day tomorrow, but
And
like all
four's
good
up.
things,
Hey,
8 months
can we
in,
tease
we have
us
a cold
next?
front coming our way
37
for
is
Thursday,
dead.
so let's enjoy
Hey
it.
guys, tease.
75 right now,
8:37 is
standing
dead.
in
We're going
the
straight to the
sunshine.
tees
A great
next.
day to have a windows
37
down
is
on your
dead.
way.
And
Back
no
from work
traffic
maybe,
bump.
or driving around
So we have to
town?
cam 2 on
That's
2-shot
79
next, then
sound
go
right
to the
now in front of us.
tees.
That's the current temperature. It's 74 in Sugarland. Cooler at the coastline.
A42 is also
That's
dead.
thanks to an
That's
onshore
the traffic
flow. The
bump.
adjacent
Yeah.
Gulf waters are
And
much
no
cooler,
traffic bump as
so
well.
any of the wind onshore will knock temps down. Now today, with generally calm winds,
No, the
we'll
fraternity's
ease through a
not dead.
sunset
The
shortly after
Lee
6
High
o'clock.
School
We'll
fire
see those
that's dead.
temperatures dipping down into the low 50s by 2 a.m., down to around 50 by sunrise tomorrow, and fog
wrap.
looks to be in the forecast.
Showbrooks will wrap.
Coming up, I'll tell you how low it goes with this
Anchor
cold
mics are
front
open.
coming our way.
All right, we'll see you then. A fraternity
Two's up.
is being investigated because of the theme of a recent party.
That theme was the Mexican border. We'll tell you how students dressed and has the fraternity now apologizing.
Plus, a young woman loses her job before she even started. How one tweet got her fired.
And did you know the
Stand
man
by break.
behind Lady Gaga's Grammy fashion is actually from Texas? Meet the man behind the look.
3:05 break. Good first block.